Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Snyder, Executive Director of the Maryland, Delaware, DC Press Association, and I am delighted to welcome you to the third segment of MDDC's annual awards program. This program honors the exceptional work of our member news organizations in 2020 in a range of categories and divisions. So, as a recap, all this week, we have been broadcasting episodes of our members' important work. We started off on Tuesday with Revenue Generators, Targeted Publications, Sales Rookie of the Year, and Designer of the Year. On Wednesday, we examined our best moves, and I want to make sure that everyone votes for their favorite best moves. The link to the poll is in the description for our videos and part of the updates that are coming to you every day. So please, I encourage you to vote for one of our best moves nominees, which were the Catholic Review for a revamped workflow, the Daily Record for their pivot to virtual events with top 100 women, the Frederick News Post for their Reader's Choice Award event, which went online, and the Baltimore Sun for their diversity, equity, and inclusion work. We also crowned the Editorial Rookie of the Year, Daniel Oyefuzzi of the Baltimore Sun, yesterday. And today, I am delighted that we are going to examine the features categories, sports, and name the winner of our James S. Keat FOIA Award. So without any further ado, let's get started with our program. Our first section is features, and our first category in the section is feature story profile. In Division O, the winners are Marcus Dieterle of the Baltimore Fishbowl in second place and Rose Horowitz of the Bethesda Beat in first. In Division F, Trish McGee of the Kent County News places second, and Joanna Sullivan of the Baltimore Business Journal places first. In Division E, Karen McGill of Coastal Point wins second prize, and Andrea Siegel of Washington Jewish Week snags first. In Division D, Randy McRoberts of the Aegis places second, and Taylor DeVille of Towson Times places first. In Division C, Megan Woodward of Carroll County Times places second, and Brian Sears of the Daily Record places first. In Division B, the Frederick News Post sweeps the category, with Greg Swatek winning second prize and Jeremy Arias winning first. Jeremy Arias passed away in 2020, and in memory of his important work, the Nutting Family Foundation, the Family Foundation connected with Ogden Newspapers, the owner of the Frederick News Post, established an internship in his memory that will fund an intern through the Reese Cleghorn Summer Internship Program for the next 5 years. We're thankful for Jeremy's contributions to our industry and for the Nutting Family Foundation's contribution to the program. Now in Division A, Xerxes Wilson from the News Journal snags second prize, and his colleague Marina Affo wins first. And the best of show for feature story profile goes to Marina Affo of the News Journal for remembering the life of the Shipley Road sign lady. Congratulations. Our next category is feature story non-profile. In Division O, Matt McDonald of Bethesda Beat wins second prize, and Zach Hill of the Baynet snags first. In Division F, Amanda Yeager of the Baltimore Business Journal places second, and her colleague, Ethan McLeod, places first. In Division E, Eric Shute of Washington Jewish Week places second, and Bryce Stump of the Salisbury Independent places first. In Division D, George Matzik Jr. of the Catholic Review places second, and Taylor DeVille of Towson Times places first. In Division C, Kelly Powers of the Daily Times wins second prize, and John Kelvey of the Carroll County Times wins first. In Division B, Brooks DuBose of the Capitol wins second prize, and Erica Riley of the Frederick News Post wins first. In Division A, John Williams of the Baltimore Sun wins second prize, and his colleague, Stephanie Garcia, wins first. And the best of show for feature story non-profile goes to Stephanie Garcia of the Baltimore Sun for "We Started Weeping in April and We Haven't Stopped. Baltimore's Latino community racked by coronavirus." Congratulations, Stephanie. Our next category is features-driven multimedia storytelling. In Division D, Kevin Parks of the Catholic Review sweeps the category, winning both first and second prizes. In Division C, Greg Muller of the Star Democrat places second, and Keisha Young of the Daily Times places first. In Division B, Graham Cullen of the Frederick News Post wins second prize, and he comes back strong, winning first, this time with Heather Mongilio and Jeremy Arias. In Division A, the Baltimore Sun sweeps the category with the staff winning second prize and Lloyd Fox winning first. And the best of show for features-driven multimedia storytelling goes to Keisha Young of the Daily Times for Faces of a Forgotten Community. Our next category is series. In Division O, the winners are Lisa Nevins-Locke and Roseanne Skirble of Maryland Matters, and placing first is their colleague, Elliot Jaspin. In Division F, the staff of the Baltimore Business Journal comes in strong, winning both first and second prizes. In Division E, Susan Kim of Business Monthly places first. In Division D, Paul McMillan of the Catholic Review wins second prize, and the staff of the Catholic Review places first. In Division C, Jessica Durstein of the Star Democrat places first. And in Division B, the staff of the Frederick News Post places second, and Celine Sanfelice of the Capitol places first. And in Division A, the News Journal sweeps the category with Patricia Tallarico, Esteban Parra, and Jerry Halbraken winning second prize, and then Patricia and Esteban teaming up again to win first. Congratulations. And the best of show for series goes to Patricia Tallarico and Esteban Parra of the News Journal for the Route 40 Killer. Our next category is headline. In Division O, the winner is Mark Reuter of Baltimore Brew in second, and Frank DiFilippo of the Maryland Matters in first place. In Division F, Hannah Combs of the Times Record wins second prize, and Ethan McLeod of the Baltimore Business Journal wins first. In Division E, Daniel Medinger of the Business Monthly wins second prize, and Chris Flood of the Cape Gazette wins first. In Division D, Paul McMullen of the Catholic Review wins first prize. In Division C, David Everman of the Star Democrat wins second prize, and Tom Baden of the Daily Record wins first. In Division B, Paul Milton of the Frederick News Post wins first prize. And in Division A, Justin Fenton of the Baltimore Sun wins second prize, and Eileen Kanzian, also of the Sun, wins first. And the best of show for headline goes to Paul McMullen of the Catholic Review for Sibling Revelry. Congratulations, Paul. Our next section is sports. Our first category in this section is sports story. In Division O, Jacob Rousseau of the Capital News Service Wire wins first prize. In Division F, Daniel Cushion Jr. of the Washington Informer wins second prize, and Mike McClure of the Laurel Star wins first. In Division E, Ted Black of Southern Maryland News wins first prize. And in Division D, Randy McRoberts of the Aegis wins second prize, and Paul McMullen of the Catholic Review wins first. In Division C, William Hoff of the Star Democrat wins second prize, and Ricky Pollard of the Daily Times wins first. In Division B, Catherine Fominik of the Capitol wins second prize, and Bob Parasoliti of the Herald Mail wins first. In Division A, John Maioli of the Baltimore Sun wins second prize, and Kevin Tressolini of the News Journal wins first. And the best of show for sports story goes to Jacob Rousseau of the Capital News Service Wire, for the integration of sports and politics went to the next level in 2020. Congratulations, Jacob. Our next category is sports feature story. In Division O, Brandon Weigel of the Baltimore Fishbowl sweeps the category, winning both first and second prizes. In Division F, Trish McGee of Kent County News places second, and Mike Detmer of the Dorchester Star places first. In Division E, Brent Kennedy of Howard County Times places second, and Jason Feather of Coastal Point places first. In Division D, Nancy Jackson from the Catholic Review places second, and Kyle Andrews from the Aegis places first. In Division C, Richard Pollard of the Daily Times wins second prize, and Seth Toe of the Star Democrat wins first prize. In Division B, the winners are Bill Wagner from the Capitol in second place, and Ryan Marshall of the Frederick News Post in first. In Division A, the winners are Jonas Schaefer of the Baltimore Sun in second place, and Jeff Nyberg and Jerry Hobbraken of the News Journal in first. And the best of show for sports feature story goes to Jeff Nyberg and Jerry Hobbraken of the News Journal for Wrestling with Demons, How a Troubled Child Turned into a Champion. Congratulations. Our next category is multimedia storytelling in sports. In Division D, the winner is Kevin J. Parks of the Catholic Review. In Division B, our winner is Graham Cullen of the Frederick News Post. And in Division A, Lloyd Fox from the Baltimore Sun takes home first prize. And our best of show for multimedia storytelling in sports goes to Kevin J. Parks of the Catholic Review for Mount St. Joseph High School Family Wrestling Legacy. Congratulations, Kevin. Our next category is sports column. In Division F, the winner is Mike Detmer of the Dorchester Star. In Division C, the winners are Bob Blueball of the Carroll County Times in second, and Kyle Bennett of the Cumberland Times News in first. In Division B, the winners are Bob Parasoliti of the Herald Mail and Bill Wagner of the Capitol in first place. And in Division A, the winners are Mike Preston of the Baltimore Sun in second place, and Brad Myers of the News Journal in first. And the best in show for sports column goes to Bill Wagner of the Capitol for Black Hall of Fame athletes frustrated with current racial climate at Severn School. Congratulations to our category winners today. We're now going to turn our attention to the coveted James S. Keat FOIA Award. The prize is named for James S. Keat, a former Baltimore Sun assistant managing editor and foreign correspondent whose staunch advocacy of freedom of information became the keystone of a career spanning more than 4 decades. James Keat was a tireless defender of press freedoms and was very active in the Press Association, and we appreciate his contributions. Let's now take a look at our nominees. Our first nominee is Alex Mann and Rick Hutzel of the Capitol. For Maryland's electronic court system creates a loophole for secret filing. Through a series of news stories and editorials, the Capitol exposed a flaw in the Maryland electronic court system, which was being rolled out across the state in 2020. The system allowed lawyers to seal any filing from the public without judicial review, in violation of both the spirit of an open court system and the letter of state law. A simple button that any attorney could or any filer could click would automatically seal those records under a confidential label. This flaw was discovered while reporter Alex Mann was researching case files for Jared Ramos, who has been accused of the murders of 5 Capitol Gazette staffers in 2018. He found that almost 70% of the 1,465 court documents filed in that murder case were being kept from the public by the end of 2019. And this was according to a review by the Capitol of data from the Maryland judiciary. By contrast, attorneys seeking to keep records secret when filing by paper must obtain an order from a judge to seal a record, a process that requires notice and an opportunity for any interested party to intervene. Congratulations to Alex Mann and Rick Hutzel of the Capitol for their nomination for the James S. Keat FOIA Award. Our next nominee is the Frederick News Post's Heather Mongilio and Paul Milton for Transparency and Disease, How the Maryland Department of Health Policy Differs. For nearly 2 years, reporters at the Frederick News Post tried to get influenza data for Frederick County. The local county health department did not have such data, and when asked for the data, the Maryland Department of Health denied the request, citing HIPAA. This was not unusual, as the health department denied any request for local data for most diseases. The health department denied the request due to the geographic concerns under HIPAA. The Health Information Protection Law prevents agencies that must follow its guidelines from disclosing health data for geographic areas less than a state. However, it is unclear if the health department must follow HIPAA. However, it makes little sense how a person could be identified by the county flu numbers, since there are nearly 260,000 people in Frederick County. After a year of being denied, the health reporter, Heather Mongilio, with her editor, Paul Milton, decided to push back more on this denial. After being denied once again, they sought mediation with the state's Public Information Act ombudsman. At the same time, they started to prepare a story looking at HIPAA and how the lack of flu data affected the county. Then, of course, COVID-19 entered the scene. When Governor Larry Hogan announced the first cases of COVID with protected health information, the health department's denials for flu data became even more confusing. The paper continued mediation, which eventually resulted in the health department releasing flu hospitalizations in the county on a one-time basis. At the same time, the story became an examination of how the county released data for COVID and other diseases, with the main focus of COVID versus flu data. Congratulations to the Frederick News Post on their nomination for the James S. Keat FOIA Award. Our final nominee is the staff of the Baltimore Sun for their work on public information during COVID. The stories the Baltimore Sun submitted reflect the Sun's continued efforts to hold public officials accountable, expose corrupt or conflicted actions, and provide the public with information it needs to make informed decisions. Extracting that information from government is never easy, but in 2020, many Maryland leaders worked to block the release of health data, even as COVID-19 cases and deaths accelerated. They offered tortured interpretations of PIA laws and refused to release data on infections in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. One written response to their requests actually argued that the disclosure serves no public health purpose. Courts, never a good option, were shuttered, so editors and reporters got creative. They filed requests for that same information with each county health board in the state and quickly found that many were happy to follow the law. Reporters quoted experts in the Sun's stories as they asserted that access to more information about the outbreaks could help limit exposure and spread. And each time a county complied with our requests, the Sun returned to the state with a simple question. Why are you withholding information that county attorneys say is clearly public and should be released? Finally, 5 days after the first story ran on the rejection, the state waved the white flag and agreed to release public information that never should have kept secret. The Sun's use of records enhanced their reporting on many beats at the state and local levels. Their coverage exposed, among other things, a sweetheart deal for Governor Larry Hogan's new chief of staff, insider lobbying that led to a lucrative state contract, lack of oversight of unapproved food substances, and staggering police overtime abuses in Baltimore City. Congratulations to the Baltimore Sun for its nomination to the James S. Keat FOIA Award. Congratulations to the Baltimore Sun as the winner of the James S. Keat FOIA Award for 2020. The judges decided to give an honorable mention to the Capital Gazette for their work as well. Here's what our judges had to say. The Baltimore Sun showed a range and scope of stories that shows the intensity of what they do. The Sun built a body of work that demonstrated a mastery of using the information tools at their disposal. Time and again, from the nursing home and long-term care data, the sweetheart deal for Governor Hogan's aide, and the police overtime abuses, essentially put on a clinic with case studies about how to get the data that laid out the framework for the stories. Our judges, who were drawn from the MDDC Press Foundation board, wanted to make special mention of the Capital Gazette's work in this area. The Capital Gazette recognized that the public's constitutional right to information about a criminal case was being blatantly violated. The state and counties apparently spent millions of dollars on an electronic court filing system that allows litigants to secretly file court documents in violation of the U.S. Constitution. These stories induced a state lawmaker to introduce a bill to force the courts to obey the law. This sort of dogged pursuit of a specific topic warrants special mention for the James S. Keat FOIA Award. Congratulations to the Baltimore Sun and the Capital Gazette. And congratulations to all of our winners in our presentation today. We will finish up our awards program tomorrow with news and beat reporting, and we will crown our news organization of the year and share who won Best Moves. Don't forget to vote in our poll for one of our our 4 nominees. They are, again, the Catholic Review, the Daily Record, the Frederick News Post, and the Baltimore Sun. The link to vote is in the description for this video, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.